Well, then you should be in there working on it, because that's what my office was.
Music is what we call concentration and focus music.
Yeah?
That's the other thing.
All right.
It was supposed to be focus and concentration.
As opposed to sleeping and snoring?
Exactly. So I hope somebody like Mrs. Spivak, we get him excited to be focused. And
It's very hard to do.
All right, so thank you so much for coming early this morning. This should be a fun-filled day. And so that you all are aware, the presentation will be on YouTube. It's being videoed. And we're trying to get to the kind of technology so that those who are not here might have the opportunity to watch it. But it's being put on YouTube. All right. Icebreakers. I never want to get something started without doing icebreakers. And then we'll do the welcoming, but icebreakers are key. So in front of you there's a sheet. And you would have about, not yet, don't turn it down, face down, face down, face down, face down,
What's this?
face down. You'll have the Jeopardy music. Once you hear the music,
Oh, yeah, I like the beat.
oh well, here you go. I thought I had this all together, but
We can always hum it.
okay, here you go. All right, here we go. You have the Jeopardy music to get it done. Here you
What
go.
are we doing? You didn't give us instructions yet.
Oh,
What are we doing?
good point. No instructions, right?
That's focus.
And you'll know why in a moment. All right, so there's 99 numbers, and you have to select. You go around and choose from 1 to 99 in order. 99 numbers on the page, and you just go around and find the numbers, and the person that get the most numbers wins. So that's the
Connect them with a line or something?
no. You find the numbers,
Circle them,
circle them from 1 to 99.
so it's an honor system.
Yeah, honor system. Everybody have pens?
I found them all.
Okay, no, you can't start until you see the music.
Disqualified.
That's why I have to throw the flag now. So let me get this back.
Oh, he's still this back. Oh, they all different.
You notice the older
You guys
guys
stand here.
don't make it.
Yeah, all shooting.
All right, so when you hear the music, can you go ahead and get started. Okay, it's time up. All right, so who has all 99?
Oh. I was close, I won 3.
Who has all 99?
99.
Who has over over 50.
I have over.
Are you crazy?
Over 50.
Circle 7.
I knew I forgot something. I knew I forgot one.
You did circle 6.
Who has over 20?
I have over 50.
I think I have 20.
You have 20? 20?
I have 20.
Okay.
Come on.
And 8 over 20.
You know, there's 6.
I'm just circling now.
So the highest is 20.
I got 7.
Okay, 7.
I did well.
I got 6.
Okay, that's good. All right, that's good. Okay, so
That's all.
instruction number 2. So the first time there was no instruction, right?
No, sir.
Now, on your tables, again, face down, please, face down, face down. You see what our students go through? There's a new set of sheets on your table, face down. This time, the difference is there's 4 quadrants. 4 quadrants. And you'll find number 1 on one of the quadrants. You'll find number 2, next quadrant. You'll find number 3, next quadrant. Number 4, next quadrant. So it's clockwise or anti-clockwise. So that's where the numbers are located. And it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on and so forth. So that's the instruction for the one you're about to do. Okay. So we're going to try it again, one more time.
You circle these also?
Yes. The instructions, now you circle them again.
It's counterclockwise. Just,
I saw that.
Don't tell the whole thing.
just so you know.
Okay, time is up.
I did well. I did well.
All right, so how many of you did better? So who did worse?
I did well.
You did
I
worse.
was very confident. Please, even
Circles all this, because that would mean circle
Well,
all
the
circles
objective
if you
is-
call the quadrants.
The purpose of this icebreaker is very straightforward. The first time when I handed out the sheets, there was no instructions. I just let it, everybody's like, oh, what are we doing? The second time, then I was prompted to give instructions to say what it was. And I did. Then now you have another sheet with more instructions. So the whole objective of this game is this. Once we provide clear instructions in whatever we do, it should give us the results we want. But there has to be some structure, some instructions, so that people know exactly what needs to be done. And that's the whole purpose of this icebreaker. All right. Introduction time. So we have a lot of staff here today, staff that are here for the first time. And this is the first in-service this year for our linear programs. And before I get started, I would just like to introduce the person who replaced Dr. Ainuchi, who was the business director. And Ms. Husky, Madam Husky, is the new business program director. So I just want to make sure I introduce her. And Ms. Husky has been the FAMTech program director for over 7 years, I believe.
Yes, it'll be 8 this October.
And she transitioned into a new role when Dr. Ainuchi left. So having said that, I have an outline that I'm going to follow. All right, getting to know your colleagues. And this is how we're going to go ahead and do it. Length of service, background, and award that describes who you are. So everybody will have a turn to follow this framework. How long you've been to Everest, some background about yourself, and what it describes who you are. But let me just put a footnote real quick and introduce somebody else who is here for the very first time. And they haven't even started yet. And that is Jessica Skapanis, right? Did I get it right?
Nice to meet you.
So she's here for the very first time, very first in service.
So 0 length of service.
0 length of service. I just want to highlight that. And then the rest have been here for quite some time, even though we have some newbies, but like a newbie, Elena Kosakova. It's a newbie, but she introduced herself. And this is our first in service. Is that correct? All right, so we'll go around the room and we'll start with Dr. Harrison.
Good morning, everybody. Dr. Harrison. I've been here for about 2 years now, in the criminal justice paralegal program. What more do y'all want to know about?
A little bit of
So
your background.
background, criminal justice. I got my bachelor's and master's in criminal justice. Got passed the Florida bar. Mostly did family law. And a word that describes me is fair.
Okay. Thank you. Elena?
Elena Corsico. This is my part-time hobby. So I just teach one class at night, accounting. I work for the City of Jackson as an auditor full-time. And this is going to be my second semester. And a word that describes me, Russian, I don't know.
There I go. Благодарю по-русски. Да? Немного.
Go ahead, Mimi.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I've been here 4 years. My background is business and marketing. And one word that describes me is lucky.
What was the word?
Lucky.
Lucky, okay. All right, Mr. Hawkins.
My name is Otis Hawkins. I'm your finance person. I've been teaching at the Everest about 2 years. Then kind of started at the same time. Backgrounds in finance and accounting. I also work in sales. So. One word that describes me, I'm pretty persistent. So I'm very, very out. So persistence is really, I guess you could say, embodies my profile.
I'm Nancy O'Neill, background in computer science. Been with CCI for 14 years. I guess one word that would describe me is highly tolerant. That's why I've been here for 14 years.
All right, Stuart.
All right, and good morning, everyone. I'm Stuart Spivak, and I've been here 13 years, so we have a lot of experience on this side of the table. I've been in business, had a business of my own, was a national salesperson for some large organizations, and teach a lot of the basic courses here. My specialty is in political terrorism, and a word that describes who I am definitely is playful. Crazy. That's the second word.
Jessica?
So I'm Jessica Scapetis. Like you said, I'm 0 length of service, so just started. Excited to start teaching and to try something new. But I got my criminology degree at the University of Florida. I went to law school here in Jacksonville. I have some background in criminal justice, in policing, and then I did immigration law and practiced criminal defense. So I've been on both sides. So I guess my word is well-rounded. That's good.
Good morning, everyone. I am Sharon T. Jackson. T describes me because this morning I'm very tired. No, I think that the word that would describe me would be, for some students, would be tough. I don't mean to be tough, but I'm trying to make sure that they get what they need. This month will make 4 years of working for CCI, and it's been a great experience. I've since started working full-time with the Duval County School Board, and in that capacity, I'm the Director of Policy and Compliance, but I still teach at night, criminal justice and paralegal studies.
Stephen Keels, I've been here 14 years. I remember Spivak when he had hair.
A long time ago.
We were young when we both started.
Yes.
Yeah. I have a background as an auditor. I've audited for the state of Florida. I've audited Department of Health. I'm a CPA. I also was the director. I was the assistant director for served for the board, for the CPA board. So I've had I was recently at UNF until December, so I've had a speckled career here. I'm out on parole from UNF, so. Anything else? What else?
A word that describes.
Oh, word describes me, caring, because I care about people, I care about the students. I always tell my students the danger of my class is you might actually learn something. I had one of my students last term paid me a big compliment. She said to me, I thank you for what I learned because, she did well on the final exam, and she said, you were the one that taught this to me, and, you were the one that made me learn this, so now I know it, and I have this thing, so.
Okay, my name is Joe McMahon. I've been here 8 years now. I've spent, my background is 33 years in police work, 30 of it with the railroad police. And the word that describes me at this present juncture in my life is old.
Vibrant.
My name is Edward Labby, and I've been here for 5 years plus. My background, I have 2 majors, criminal justice and urban education. I have a doctorate degree in educational leadership. I always want to reinvent myself, so currently I'm taking a course to be a certified online instructor, which maybe in a month's time I'll be done. And what that describes me is discipline. Right?
Yes. I gotta look at the board title. I remember what I'm supposed to say. I've been here since '05. Started as an adjunct and then full-time instructor, and now I'm the chair for the criminal justice paralegal program. And my background is basically law enforcement. I was a federal agent for a number of years until I retired. And that work was basically internal affairs, finding crime and corruption among federal agents. Word that describes me, there's a lot of them. And my wife has several choice words that describe me. But I think intense would be the one that I would use.
All right, so as Dr. Hartley said, I'm Lenore Husky. I've been with the company this October will be 8 years. I did come in as the program director for pharmacy tech, so that is the bulk of my background, working in a pharmacy. However, I have my master's in leadership with project management, and so the word that describes me would be outspoken.
Now, Dr. Jojo, I know you feel me with that. You have to do this yourself.
You gotta turn it around, you gotta do it yourself.
14 years also. I started as an adjunct back in 2000. And my background is with several things. Worked with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Florida for about 13 years as an operations manager, market intelligence analyst, and but I've done several things and decided to be full-time with Everest. This is going 5 years now as a dean. And what it describes me, motivated. Motivated, that's the word it describes me. All right, so that should do it for our introduction. So we're gonna move right ahead to State of the Linear program. All right, so Everest has 2 school of thoughts, I call them. We have the allied health, and we have the degree track. Degree track, everybody in this room, you are in the degree track. And the programs that we offer, accounting, paralegal, applied management, business administration, criminal justice, and paralegal. Those are the degree programs. And we have them from associate's degree, bachelor's degree, up to master's degree. And of course, there's bachelor's and master's at the criminal justice and business. Then we have the allied health, and those are the diploma programs, and we have about 5 of those, I believe, if I'm right. Medical assisting, pharmacy technician, medical insurance billing and coding, massage therapy, and dental. Those are the 5 allied health programs. So right now we have 432 students. I remember years ago we were up to about 1,200 students. We have up to 1,200 students, but now we have 432. And as you can see, the breakdown, linear programs, which is everybody in this room, we have 228 students. And modular 204, and that's the percentage breakdown. Business and accounting is the largest program in the school, 132. Criminal justice, 96. It's been sometimes 100, 102, 103, but we have 96 currently. And next week we have new stats coming for the spring term, so these numbers will change. All right. I know everybody in this room, you've heard about attrition. For those of you who are new, let me just spend some time on what attrition is. We are measured, every one of us, and the school as a whole is measured by attrition. And for me, attrition is graduation. Because if a student starts and they don't finish, they never graduate, they incur all this debt, and basically nothing ever happens. So why is attrition important? Attrition is important because one, it keeps us all to have jobs. That's number one. Number two, it's a benefit because students finish, they get what they pay for, they graduate, contribute to society. That's why attrition is important. So how do we measure attrition here in the campus or the corporation as a whole? The company goal is 6%. Sorry, not the goal, the budget is 6%. So which means 6% of, who's the mathematician in this class? Okay. Get someone to go with you. So let's just round this up. 96 students, say it's 100 students. So 6% of 100 is how many students? Six. Yeah. So that's the number that the program of criminal justice is allowed to lose every term, basically. Every term, you're allowed 6 students. And for the criminal justice program, the term is 3 months. That program is given 6 students to lose. How does this translate to you in your classrooms? The average student classroom population is about 15 or 14. Sometimes we have classes as low as 5. Accounting is as low as 3 because the accounting program is very small. So if you have, say, again, I'm going to round this up, 20 students in your classroom, what would be your attrition budget? 0. I like 0, but it's a number. 1.2, right? Which is 1. You can cut them, you can hear. So that's your budget. So which means if you have 20 students, you can only lose 1. So for most of our classes, we don't have 20 students. And that's why Dr. Kill was right when he said 0. For most of our classes, if it's 15, it's 9, you can't lose any. Because if you lose any, that means you've already exceeded your budget. So that's critical. So how do we as professionals, as faculty, make it fun for our students whereby we keep our students and attrition is always met? We rely on everybody in this room. That's when your expertise come in, that's when you make your classroom fun, that's when you do things that you have to do to just make it super. And I hope this in service will do that today, because we'll be talking about motivating the adult learner and providing the rubric that will get some information as to how you could get yourself up to par with your classrooms. The next thing, net attrition. Let me just explain that. So when we're talking about net attrition is measured by gross, that's 6%. Gross is the number of students we have at all times. 6% of that you could afford to lose. Net is calculated when students leave and they come back and they become a re-entry. So students drop for certain reasons. When they come back, they become a re-entry, and that number is reduced from the gross to give you the net. That's how the net is calculated. A student that leaves the school, come back again to continue the program, is subtracted from the gross. That's how you get a net. And our net goal is 3.5%, but the budget is 3.8. So again, calculated again, if we had 96 students, as total students, say 6 students come back, that would be 96 minus 6, it becomes 90. So that 90 would be the net number, which we have a goal of that to be 3.8%. Oh, sorry, the budget is 3.8, but the goal is 3.5%. All right, student attrition. Student attrition is critical. Why is student attrition critical? I think I mentioned that already earlier. And I'm going to just get some ideas in this room. Why do you think student attrition is critical? I've given you some highlights, but I want to hear from you. Mimi.
Because we're a business and we don't have customers, we don't have.
That's right. We're a business. If we don't have customers, business shuts down. I always see attrition as inventory. Students are inventory. If you keep losing, at the end of the day, what happens? You got a business. All right, other ideas. Why is student attrition important?
I still say word of mouth. You know, they go to school, they can tell their friends, they tell one person, they tell 10 other people. So you get sign-ups from there. So I think that's a good marketing focal point.
Okay. What else?
It's important because I need to keep my job.
There you go. Your livelihood. Let's move on to student classroom attendance. Now, classroom attendance. What's the policy of attendance? George, you want to just, what's
Sure. Our student policy attendance is 2 parts. If a student misses class 2 weeks in a row and/or 40% of their total hours, we have to drop them by law. And this is all tied to financial aid. So I believe it's a federal regulation that we drop the students, and if we're holding on to monies, we've got to send them back. So it's a very, very sensitive issue when a student doesn't show up for class. However, in our great country, like everything else, everyone has a right to appeal, just like they have a right to appeal their absence. So if for some extenuating circumstance, a student is out for 2 weeks in a row, and they have an opportunity to file an appeal. Like recently, we had one in Dr. Harris's class. The student was hospitalized. You just can't help that. She doesn't want to drop. She comes back to school. We afforded her an opportunity to file an appeal, and we can avoid dropping that student. So often you'll see the program directors coming by, trying to track someone down, finding out where are they, what happened, are they coming back, do they want to file an appeal, what is the status?
Thanks, George. Now, everyone in this room, hopefully you've been entering your attendance on the portal. Now, faculty has to enter the attendance on the portal. So if you don't have access, please see your program directors or the registrar or myself. Program directors, George, registrar Janelle Fox, or myself. All attendance have to be entered on the portal. That is a requirement, it has to be done. And if there's change in attendance, it has to be done in the portal also. You go on the portal and do the change. So that's critical. At this point, I'm just going to put a pause on this end of term that ends yesterday. By now, I hope, and again, please chime in if I miss anything, everyone should have been getting their final grades ready, submitted their final grades. You have till, for most of you have till probably Tuesday, because the time is already over. So you've done your final grades, you've submitted all your final grades. That has to be done. I hope that's done. Is that correct?
95%.
95%. So you have, by Tuesday, make sure everything is submitted to the registrar's office. All grades are entered on the portal, because you have access to also enter your grades on the portal. So make sure that it's done. That's critical, because we want to make sure we close the term. Very good to go. Anything again on end of term activities? Joe?
That's pretty much it.
That's okay.
No, I mentioned on the final, even on the final day, you have to put the attendance in, or we mentioned that.
Yes, even though it's the last day of class, attendance has to be entered also, and the grade. That has to be done. Attendance, if they were here or not, it has to be entered and their final grade. If student wasn't here and then they will be absent, if they pass in the class, we put the grade, whatever the grade it is. If they contact you and they will do their makeup for the last final exam, they're still absent, and then you can put their final grades when they do submit it in. All right, last item on the set of linear programs, faculty files. Everyone here should have a faculty file. If you're new, we're going to make sure you have one. It's something we have to have for the accreditation body. And I should have brought a sample to see what it looks like. But it's where we keep your transcripts, your resume, your application, classroom observations, and everything about you is in the faculty file that is reviewed by the accrediting bodies to make sure you're qualified to teach college level classes, and that's why we have faculty files. So we'll be reaching out to you for some certain documents. Every year we have to have things like this in service to show that we're developing our faculty. Professional development is a big one for faculty files, so which means make sure you're on top of your profession, do professional development, continuing education classes, so that you are at the top of your game, so to speak. All right, so now I'll just spend a few minutes on what I call the attrition board. You may not be able to see this, but every month we track attrition of every instructor, both linear, degree, and certificate programs. So what I've done, I've captured everybody's attrition on this spreadsheet from last July all the way to March. And I'm happy to report that for the linear programs, every instructor is under the goal or even the budget. For instance, I'm just going to highlight somebody. Mimi Co-op. From July all the way to March, attrition is 1.9%. Really?
Hey, that's awesome.
Miss Cruz, Sarissa Cruz, she just came in. She's one of our adjuncts, she's sitting right here. 0%. Dr. Beckham, her last day was yesterday, but she's at 1.4%.
That's awesome.
Dr. Jackson, Cheryl Jackson, 1.8%.
Yeah.
Dr. Labby, 0.6%.
Wow.
Mr. McMahon, 1.6%.
Awesome.
Ms. O'Neill, 2.1%.
Very good.
Mr. Spivak, 9%. You say you're playful, so
It's all my fault.
even Mr. Spivak is 2%. Ms. Kosakova, you just started, 2.6%.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really.
Dr. Harrison, 0%.
Wow.
And Jessica, you have nothing yet. So.
Zero.
But just to put it in perspective, everyone in this room, you're meeting the goals of what the company has set. The budget, so we're keeping our students. Now, I don't know whether I reported this, but this last quarter, from January, February, March, the business program overall was it 4.1? Okay, it was, I think it was 5.2% for the quarter in terms of attrition. CJ was a little bit high, CJ was 6.7, and let me just explain how it happens. When student drops, it affects the program if they drop after the term ends. If they drop while in class, it affects the instructor. But if they drop after the end of the class, it affects the program, so that's why the program's numbers will be high. But if a student drops while in class within the 12 weeks, it affects you. So based on these numbers, for the last 9 months, everyone in this room has been doing a phenomenal job. So I think you all deserve a round of applause. But keep up the fine work. All right. Let's see. Anybody need a break? 5-minute break or so?
5 minutes.
Let's take a 5-minute break, and then we'll come into the in-service portion of the day. So let's take a 5-minute break.
Or during this in-service, we're going to refer back to what I handed you was the classroom observation, and not only what you're graded on, but how you're graded, which also you received is the rubric. And so maybe you've seen the classroom observation before as the program director or the dean has gone over it when they come in and do your monthly classroom observation with you. And so now you'll understand what the numbers that they're giving you and why. And if you haven't seen it before, well then this is great because this is your copy. You can keep it and you can write notes on it. And so we're going to go over some of the highlighted areas that I have on here to relate it to how you get scored when motivating your students in the classroom. All right, so our objectives for today are best practices in motivating our students in the classroom environment, and to gain the knowledges and skills that you adopt to help motivate your students in the classroom. And so what I would like to do is ask you, have you ever heard of the word self-efficacy before? Yes. Have you explained that to your students, what self-efficacy is? Have you ever had that conversation in the classroom with them about self-efficacy? It's okay if you haven't.
I haven't.
Okay, good. That's what I need to hear. I need some honesty here. All right. So, what I would like you to do real quick, what is self-efficacy? Tell me what you think it is. Anybody?
Being your own advocate.
Okay.
Making yourself your own #1 priority.
Okay. Anything else?
Self-worth, I guess. You estimate your self-worth.
Yes. Anything?
How capable you are.
All right. Anybody? Anybody else? Any other ones to contribute? Okay. A lot of times people get self-esteem and self-efficacy. They think they're the one and the same, and they're not. Because self-esteem is more about how your self-worth is. But self-efficacy is believing that you can do something, that you can do more than what you think you're actually capable of doing. And that, as you know, and for those of you that are going to start teaching, you're going to see that you have to constantly remind your students what they're capable of. And so that's part of why we're doing motivating students today, how you motivate adult learners. All right, so when you're promoting not only self-efficacy for your students, but you realize that you do this in your home as well, maybe with your children, if you have children, maybe with your spouse or your significant other or friends or family or whomever that you're trying to, become a role model for, you're trying to promote self-efficacy with individuals around you. All right, so one of the little things that I thought of when I was looking over this PowerPoint is, how many of you have seen the movie Dumbo? Disney movie, elephant, the big flappy ears, right?
I think he might have seen it.
All right. This is a really old Disney movie, so, I know that if I've seen it, pretty much, I think everybody in the room should have seen it already. So, anyhow, there is a train that is the circus train. His name is Casey, and he is trying to pull all the circus animals and everybody with him, and he's having to go up this hill. And what he's saying is, and you honestly think, yes, that you can hear him puffing out, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And then he gets up at the top of the hill, and then as he's going down the bottom of the hill, he's like, I thought I could, I thought I could, I thought I could. And he's like, choo choo, and he's like going on. And so it reminded me, of course, what they were mimicking is the little engine that could. Is that you have this little train, and he's like, I think I can, I think I can. And you have students, and that's what you have to do. You have to keep promoting them. I think that you can. You think you can, you think you can do it. And at the end of graduation, that's what the best reward is because they're like, I thought I could do it. And I'm like, you did do it. All right. So with that being said, the definition of motivate. So what is the definition of motivation? What I would like you to do real quick is, I have some Post-its here. And at each of the tables, I would like you to write what you think your definition of motivate or motivation is when it relates to your students. All right? So what I'm going to ask you two gentlemen, if you will join Dr. Harrison and Dr. Munoz up here just real quick. Or
Do
you
I
guys
have
can
to?
join.
No, Jojo, come on.
Just real quick. All right, what color marker would you like? Green, blue, red.
Red is power.
All right, there you go. Dr. Larkin, you can join whatever team you like. What color would you guys like? Red? Stretch my legs.
Quick, you hurt your
All right, what color would you guys like?
I have a mirror here, so you.
It's my table.
It's my table.
It's my team.
All right, here is your space. So, I want you to
That's
think about how you,
Job.
what your definition of motivate is.
I should put more.
Oh, put M-O, more money. More money. M-O, more money, more money. So what do you say, Jojo?
Better job. Oh, it's right there.
You got that, really. Better job.
To me, it's career over job.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's more of career.
It's not just a job to go to, it's a career.
Well, yeah, it's kind of, one of the same things,
Promotion.
Promotion.
How do you get the students to do what they want to do?
No, you just write a few keywords of
Red,
what you
right,
want.
Rhymes with moments.
Yeah, they're getting started. Look at there. I got dollar signs.
Cliches are us.
Yes.
You guys got a dress, violin?
No, promotion, career over job, better job. Also, about the job, about the job. Family.
How about success?
Success, whatever that means.
In other words,
It could mean a lot of things. It may not
creating
necessarily.
some people in status.
How about the American dream? Is the American dream still alive? 2.2 kids, a car, a chicken in every pot.
How do you get points? What's your pin?
I always wondered, you know, school when I said that 2.2, you know. Jojo, you're in our group, what are you open on there?
Can be changed.
Change. How about change is good? How about that?
Correct.
I'm waking up like every hour, on the hour. And I know that works there, but it's just,
I'm the same way. Yeah.
There was another one.
Better life.
English, please.
What else?
English expert.
You have more than a big lump sum.
What is spelled English?
I don't know.
Look over here.
Google it.
N-I-T-I-O.
It's like, I don't think so, but I asked.
Here's the thing, you must never be okay, this is something.
Please do energize. Please do energize. Energize.
Oh, we.
I would say understand too. Or understand.
All right, guys, I'm gonna give you just a couple more seconds.
But his job Yeah, maybe not his job is out. Yeah, I couldn't get a hold of him for something.
Oh, support tip.
Maybe it's just email me.
Support is already now.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay, there you go.
All right, time. All right, so I need one person in your group to share with the rest of us what you guys put down. You want to be our spokesperson? You want to be our spokesperson? All right, so we're going to start with you guys back here. So what do you have down for how you motivate, or what's your definition of how you motivate students?
Really, I haven't done it yet.
Throw the monkey into the fire.
We are inspiring her.
Oh, for her. Man, oh man. That's a tough crowd.
Yes. All right, so what do you guys have here?
All right, fine. To be cliche, we put down inspire, reinforce strengths,
Okay.
create possibilities within the students so that they know that they can do more.
Okay.
Envision success, a better life, just so, I mean, they need to envision graduation and what
Yes.
comes afterwards.
Yes, that's the goal, right? Because we are a career college, so they need to see, why am I here and what am I going to get at the end of this once I graduate? All right, very good.
Thank you.
All right, so what do you guys have here? You guys are all. Oh, they did a whole like flow chart. I know, flow chart here. All right. So tell us, what does this mean?
If you want them to go from A to B,
All right, from start to finish. All right.
that's, and what you put in motivating them is all of these arrows. So we participated, each one of us added a few.
So you guys have, what were some of them?
I'll put my.
Inspire.
Uh-huh.
Everest.
Free food.
Free food.
I saw that one. That was very good.
Right.
What else do we have?
Emphasize.
Emphasize.
Oh, that's a good one.
Recognize, support, encourage, rewards, promote, and guide.
Recognition, rewards, little certificates.
Yes, that's good.
They love it.
They absolutely do. And I like the fact that you put, you're encouraging, you're supporting, you're energizing them, you're promoting, you're guiding them. Because that's what you, in the Inspire model, that's what your goal is to strive to be, is that you want to be the guide of your classroom. You want to guide your students. You don't want to be their buddy. You don't want to be the enforcer all the time, but you want to be the guide. You want to be a good combination to make them understand that you're not here to be their friend, but you're here to help guide them into their new career. Very good. Thank you so much. All right. What's next up here have?
Okay, so if we did it right, we wrote down a few words that motivate the students.
Okay.
We put promotion, career over a job,
Very good.
better jobs. I put money, but Dr. Kill said Mo, put Mo in front of it. Mo money. Family, success, American dream, change for the good, and self-improvement.
Very good. Those are all very good. Yeah, because a lot of our students come to us and they don't realize it at the beginning, but it is for self-improvement. Not just for them, but maybe for their entire family, for their children, for those that they're going to have to be role models for as well. All right, so of course, motivation, they give you the Webster's dictionary of it. The act or process of giving someone a reason for doing something, the act or process of motivating someone. So just keeping that in mind, that that's what you're here to do, is you're here to keep motivating them, to keep coming back, to keep pushing forward, to keep being that little engine that could, and that at the end they can say that they thought they could. All right, so before we do the YouTube video, I want to sidetrack for just a second. How many of you, what do you do to unstress after a long day? What are some things, real quick, that
Watch
you do?
TV.
You watch TV. All right, sleep. All right,
Basketball.
that's a good one. All right, anything else?
Glass of Pinot Noir.
Do what?
Glass of Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir.
I was going to say alcohol.
Over here? Exercise? Okay. So I'm going to tell you something that I do, and it's going to show the generation that I come from. I play video games. That's what I grew up doing. I used to play a video game. I don't know how many of you, I'm sure a lot of you probably read this, Lord of the Rings. And so my family, my kids, myself, we're all big Lord of the Rings fans. And there's a Lord of the Ring game online that you can play. You can pick, somebody, and you can like go get the heck out of some orcs and kill orcs and cut their heads off, and you can just go and destroy, right? So I enjoy going in and taking it out on some people. But there's a character that they call the captain, okay? And a captain, the skill that he has, or she has, is called Inspire Greatness. And when you're in what they call a fellowship, a group of people, and you're in there and you're slaughtering this big boss and he is kicking your butt because he's like a million life and here you are just tiny little life, and you're trying everything you can and your people are dying, what does a captain do? A captain gets in there and they say, look, I know that you're great. You're going to do this. You're going to get in there, and he inspires those around him to go in and give it all they can, even if they know at the end of the day they're going to die doing what they did, but they're going to make an impact. So this Inspire Greatness causes their morale and their life to shoot up and allows them to stay alive until they kill what it is that they're killing, that they're trying to get to save whatever it is that they're saving. And so to me, every time I see this and I'm playing with a group of people and I'm like, here comes the captain because he's the savior. He's going to save us because he's going to inspire us to do great things. So the little YouTube video that we're going to watch is about various coaches. Yes, sir.
Lenore, you're saying we're all going to die?
Yes. One day you will. It's just a fact of life. So yes, as a healthcare guru, yes, we're all going to die one day.
Right.
So yes, but the YouTube video is going in and inspiring their groups or their, the people that they're leading to motivate them to go in and give it all that they can.